All right, oh baby, oh baby, oh baby. Good morning, everybody out there. You know the drill. I'm going to get right into this. I don't want to waste a second. It's a Friday.
I can't give you on this date?
We got later on. Save that for 9 o'clock hour.
I'll save it.
Save that for 9 o'clock hour. I want to stay focused here for at least an hour on the show today. Good morning, everybody out there. Look, I don't want to waste a second. The Sixers are in town. This is a big-time game.
Yeah, it is.
And I love watching Joel Embiid play, so I actually hope he does play for the entertainment purposes. He's a monster. He's a load. The dude stretches like 2 hours before the game. They're stretching the ball out to get him right. And he goes out there and he can cook it from all three levels. In a block, in a post, mid-range, threes. He's a rebounder. He blocks shots. He does it all. Embiid's a fascinating player. Then you get James Harden in the building. And everybody hates James Harden. You think we hate Luka? Well, James Harden's in the building, and he one-ups you.
He might go down in terms of scoring as like a top 3-4 shooting guard ever. Scoring. Even though he's more of, I don't even know what he is. I don't even know what the hell he is.
Honestly, he wouldn't even be on my top 7.
No, I'm with you on that, but you get where I'm going.
But here's what's got me turned up right now.
What's that?
And I'm turned up.
Yeah, you are.
I'm not angry.
No, what is
I'm
it?
happy. I like to have fun watching sports.
I know you do.
We're geeks about this stuff.
You live for it.
But the Giants and the optimism. And I keep hearing, Bonte, you need to be optimistic about the Giants. Baseball's around the corner. I love baseball.
Yeah.
It's around the World Baseball Classic was great. Spring trading stinks.
Well,
all right,
hope springs eternal is the theory.
Yeah, well, spring trading sucks.
I agree with that.
So I'm not going to waste a second on that. But I'm up to date on what's going on. And the fact that Casey Smith's not going to start with this big league club, the coverage of the Giants in this market, it's totally different than the Warriors and the Niners. Think about how we discuss the 49ers. We lose our minds about them. And all they've done 3 of the last 4 years is advance to the NFC Championship game and 1 Super Bowl.
I know.
The Golden State Warriors have won 4 championships in the last 8 years. Got one of the 10 greatest players in basketball history in Stephen Curry.
I would say, put Wilt to the side. He's the greatest Warrior of all time.
Greatest Warrior of all time. Bob Myers, Steve Kerr, Joe Lacob. And think about the vitriol they receive on a daily basis. Not only from fans, media members, everything.
It's kind of crazy.
And all they do is win.
Yes.
And they're in the business
Both
of winning. Both teams. In the business of trying to hang banners.
And we criticize every little transaction.
And yet with the Giants.
I mean, there are people losing their minds. Emmanuel Mosley got a $6 million one-year deal with the Detroit Lions, and the Niners didn't bring him back. There you go. And the Niners have proven that they can allow guys to walk and find. Like, I think about how we cover the Niners.
Yep.
It's crazy. Now, that's a product of football, but also how well the Niners have played over the last 5 years.
No doubt. And so now.
And they've earned that.
They have earned it. But then when it comes to the Giants, it's almost as if we're supposed to shake these orange and black pom-poms and say, you know what? It's just so good to be at the yard. You know, Logan Webb, great story. And Logan Webb, I don't even want to bother him. But, you know, hey, the way they play,
Logan Webb was
nostalgic.
75th. Out of 100 starting pitchers, The Athletic ranked him 75th.
There you go. And that's your
ace.
I
like Logan Webb, and I love him.
And that's your ace pitcher. That's...
And I really like him.
There's literally, when it comes to the Giants, what is one thing? And not you.
Yes.
But I would love to hear it from the audience.
Yeah.
Because the Warriors, I could name 8,000 things on why I'm excited to go watch the Warriors play. Even if Steph is out, and Draymond's out, and Clay's out, we get excited because, it's Jordan Poole time.
It's
Jonathan Kuminga time. Oh, we're going to see a little Moses Moody.
Yeah. I love Dante DiVincenzo.
Right, exactly. The Niners, so many storylines.
Yeah, I mean,
Brandon Ayuk sent out a tweet this week, and everybody's going crazy.
If Josh Johnson was on one side of the street and anyone other than Jock and Crawford was on the other from the Giants, wouldn't you think people would recognize Josh Johnson before any other Giants player?
Absolutely. And so, you get Mr. Bridge here. Well, of course you're going to say the Warriors are more exciting. They are more exciting. The Warriors, NBC Sports Bay Area can fire me tomorrow. The Warriors are still exciting. I'll still rather watch a Warrior game than what the Giants are presenting on a product. Why is it fan base? And we don't. Fans, we want more.
Yeah.
And the Giants, remember I came down the road, I was like, they don't deserve credit for trying to get Aaron Judge. They should be doing that.
Yeah.
They need to close a deal.
Yeah.
And you know what they did? They failed. They didn't close a deal. And then the whole Carlos Correa debacle and the way that was handled.
And you allowed Bogarts to go. You didn't want to go after him. You didn't go after Trey Turner.
Didn't do any of that.
You could have gone in a lot of directions.
You didn't do any of that. Instead, we got a $173 million payroll, and Mitch Haniger, one of your high-prized free agents, is not even going to be in the lineup on opening day because he has an oblique injury.
I know.
Michael Conforto. And we're getting sold Michael Conforto. So why should I be optimistic? Why is it just okay to be, hey, we're just optimistic about baseball being back? We should demand more from our team. And the Giants, I demand more. But yet we cover them in this market with kid gloves. We really do. Why is that?
No, but in what way do you mean that? I'm just curious.
Because we're critical about them.
I probably get labeled as a Giants homer / screamer. Like, it's funny how I get labeled as both. I lose my mind on the Giants, but I'm also a homer. And it's like, I feel like I'm pretty critical on the Giants.
No, I'm a diehard Giants fan, which is why I'm so damn critical of them.
So, but then why do you get the sense that we're not critical?
Just think about it. Think about John Lynch.
Yeah.
If that was John Lynch yesterday saying, hey, we're going to go with Nate Sudfeld over Trey Lance, and Trey Lance needs to get more work, we would go crazy.
Yeah.
We would go crazy.
Yeah.
Think about how much we bang on the table for John Lynch to make moves. Or we bang on the table for Shanahan making a 4th and 3 call.
Is there an acceptance that the team isn't good and there's maybe apathy?
Maybe there is, but do they deserve apathy? When Farhan said the things he said this past offseason about the city, and, it's really difficult to bring free agents here because of the politics and all that. That's basically what he said.
It turned me off. Even though I believe there's some truth to what he said.
Right?
You don't say it out loud.
Kepler, a lot of people thought, man, maybe he lost the clubhouse. And when he got ejected from a game last year. And even, I'm not going to name names, but P. Ryan's like, yo, that was phony. And the players felt like it was phony.
I think there's a lot of people that view Kepler as phony for a variety of things. A, he doesn't make his own decisions in the dugout. Very few managers do, but he feels like he's someone who, hey, here's the script. Go to the script. So you're only there to punch.
So think about it. Last night on Twitter.
Punch tickets in terms of what they want.
Right. Think about Twitter. So Twitter, for example. I was like, damn, Farhan was on the Giants broadcast? I didn't see any tweets about that.
I know.
Not one.
I know.
I didn't see anything about Farhan. Nobody brought it up. Even Lubman didn't even bring it up. And he's the biggest Giants fan I know.
I know. I feel like I was the only one watching.
And he's the president of baseball operations of the Giants in the number 4 market in the country.
One of the top 5 valuations by Forbes and one of the top 5 profit makers in baseball by Forbes.
John Lynch speaks.
We're
doing entire shows around what he says.
We had John Lynch on. I think we did 15,000 views in the first 12 hours.
There you go.
And that's on YouTube. That's not even talking about that's just on YouTube for a 20-minute interview.
A prospect that you're excited about, Casey Schmidt, is going to start in AAA. In AAA. Think about how disappointing that is. One thing that you were optimistic about, but yet we sit here and say, well, the Giants know what they're doing. You got to trust the process. They deserve the benefit of the doubt.
It's been a long time.
Patience has been preached about, hey, you got to be patient with this. They know what they're doing. Just waiting for the prospects to come up. Wait until 2025.
No.
Why is that acceptable with this club?
I'm not waiting that long.
But why is that acceptable? It seems like overall it's acceptable with this team in this market.
Was it that way for the Niners in 2017? When they started off 0-9, didn't it feel like Shanahan was already on the hot seat?
Absolutely.
Even though it felt like the fan engagement on the Niners was as low as it had ever been. Wouldn't you agree? And yet it still felt like, hey, you got to win some of these games. Remember how people were talking about them?
Yep.
Now, is that football or is that how? Because I do feel like as we talk about the Warriors and the Niners,
right?
I do feel like there's an element, fair or not, where the fan in the Bay Area is like, hey, if you ain't competing for championships, I'm kind of out on you.
Right.
Unless you're showing me a bunch of young players that we can watch grow into champions.
Yep.
Right?
And we don't even have that hope.
Well, the
one glimmer of hope was Casey Schmidt.
Yeah.
You talked him up. I said, look, I'm excited to see what he does. Cool. And he's going to start in AAA. And yet, I'm supposed to say, hey, Bonte, shut up. Baseball's coming back. Giants, you got to be optimistic, man. Why are you doing? And it's like, no, I don't accept. I want my team to be great. I want them to be perennial powers. At least show me that you're trending in the right direction. Well, I don't even know what direction they're going in.
Let me play devil's advocate. And I'm not sure if I even subscribe to this, but let me just play that. I view, and this is me, I personally view Casey Schmidt not necessarily as he's going to save the franchise, because no one player does that. It's a collection of young talent that's going to get you over to the next level, right? Whatever that next level is for this team. It's the metaphor of what he represents. Meaning, if Casey Schmidt comes up and when we see him, he's successful, that to me will signify, all right, I think they've got this going in the right direction.
They got one.
Let's see the rest of the wave. So, and again, I don't know if I believe this, but maybe from their perspective is, hey, we have to make sure Casey Schmidt succeeds. Because if he does what Joey Bart did, which is come in and not do well, isn't that more of a poor reflection on us?
What if he goes to AAA and he struggles out there?
Which is what happened with Ramos. He went down to AAA and had a horrible year.
Why? Because he's depressed. He's thinking, man, I did everything I could to make the roster. I batted 440 in spring training. I'm putting up numbers.
That's what you ask these young guys to do.
And then you're like, you know what? It wasn't good enough. You're going to start off in AAA.
And really, if you look at the roster, like you couldn't
honestly, David VR is blocking Casey Schmitt.
VR did rise through the system, and you want to be able to reward those guys. I hear where you're coming from. VR had a decent run at the end of last year, so I can see from an organizational standpoint being optimistic on VR. I can see that. To me, I would just say I think that Casey Schmitt, even if you believe in VR, Casey Schmitt, there are enough at-bats available for him to play third and shortstop. There's just enough. That's the way I view it.
Wilmer Flores is really blocking Casey Schmitt.
Yeah, that multi-year deal, especially with the shift ban, it doesn't look good.
I mean, come on. What are we doing? So,
like Yaz right now, so everyone's like, hey, look out for Yaz. Yaz, I think, has 1 hit and 22 at-bats.
Oh, no, you tell me, Shaska. You read everything about the Giants.
Yeah, I read everything. I know.
And look, how do you think the Giants are covered in this market?
Oh, I absolutely believe we treat them different than the other two teams.
Why?
Well, I think that there was such a long drought for so long that they fulfilled our wildest dreams and they won that first championship, which felt unbelievable. And then they won again, and then they won again. And all of that felt so good. And they were the kings of Camelot. Like, they won, and it coincided with a time where the Warriors were down. Yep. It was in between, we believe, in their first championship.
Yep.
And the Niners fell off the map. And they were great from 2010 or 2011 to 2014, but then they kind of they fell off the map. And the Giants held firm, right? And then like you had legends. Like, think about this, B. If I were to rank the top 10 legends of San Francisco Giants baseball history, Willie Mays, Barry Bonds, McCovey, Marichal.
Right.
The next 6 are coming out of this last generation. Posey, the Tim Lincecum, Bochy, Bumgarner, right?
But
Pence.
But that was so long ago. Like, I'm looking at the Warriors in the modern day. Think about how they just won last June. GP2 signed with the Portland Trailblazers a couple weeks later, and it was like that championship was won 100 years ago.
I know.
I mean, we pivot so quick.
Did we do that with the Giants in 2016, 2017 when they were fresh off of those championships?
We didn't in 2014. We didn't in 2013 after 2012. We gave them pass years.
Yes.
We gave the Giants pass years. It feels like the Warriors don't get a pass for anything.
No.
It really does.
Well, I said,
and even the 49ers.
It's funny
even the Niners.
It's funny you say this. Everybody makes this argument about wasting Curry's prime.
Right.
I always said, and this was my argument, not that you're wasting Posey's prime, but my thing was always the best hitter you could get in the lineup with Buster Posey was Hunter Pence. And I love Hunter Pence. But like you couldn't get a legit 4-hitter for Posey? You like I know, again, he had some great years with the Giants. But like, look at what Judge is working with in that Yankee lineup. Yeah. Look at what the Astros have assembled down there. Look at what the Dodgers and the Padres are working with. Now you can say, Joe, they still won championships. Yeah, but maybe they could have won more.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Did they maximize Buster Posey?
No, I don't believe they did.
Don't you think, and I know this sounds absurd to say, don't you think they could have squeezed out more playoff runs?
Absolutely.
Forget championships, because those are difficult.
Absolutely. I'm looking at these texts from the 415 Xfinity mobile text line. I don't want to read them because that'll start something else, but there may be some truth to what you're texting. 415. Just know that. Mario, Sarah Ramon. Mario, what's happening?
Hey, what's up, man? Look, we got to treat some patience with the Giants. I mean, we had some down years for the Niners, but you got to look at the Warriors back in 2009. Who was it? Stephen Curry, right? We just drafted him.
Yeah.
They sucked for so freaking long, and then we started winning. Maybe we got to suck again for the Giants to know what we really were missing,
So let me ask you this, Mario. How much patience will you have with this current regime? This is year 5, I believe, correct? Year 5?
Well, he got hired in 2018.
Yeah,
so this will be
2018,
his
19,
he's
20,
just completed
21.
his 5th full offseason.
Fifth offseason. So how much patience should we exhibit for Farhan Zaidi in this regime, Mario?
I mean, how much patience you got for the Niners? I mean, look, we're on year, 5, 6 for the Niners.
But think about how close they are.
I mean, come on.
Think about how close they've gotten.
Yeah, we can't compare 107 to what they have had more playoff moments in one. Pick any one of the runs than the Giants have even come close to.
Mario gone? All right, that's it. So that's I find it fascinating.
So
I find it fascinating. So my thing is personally, I'm down on the Giants. I am.
Yeah.
And sometimes it comes off on there. It's like, damn, Bronte's really down on them.
Care.
Because exactly. If I didn't care, I wouldn't be this angry about them or be this mad about them. The fact that Casey Smith's not going to start with the big league club, and I'm like, damn, that was the one thing. Shasky actually started warming me up to him.
I know.
You talk 40 minutes about Casey Smith. All right, I'm going to see the kid.
But I do.
And now he will be up at some point.
He will be.
But that's the problem.
No, I'm with you.
I don't care about service. I don't care about anything. Let the kid play. Yankee Stadium. If he's a big leaguer, and you like what? Yeah. Yankee Stadium. What better way to introduce yourself to the baseball world and to the Giants community to playing at Yankee Stadium in the opening series, where he gets to go touch the Babe Ruth Monument, the Mickey Mantle Monument, the Joe DiMaggio Monument, and you go play third base at Yankee Stadium against the Pinstripes. And they're going to be with the Sacramento River Cats?
I know.
I would be shocked if Casey Smith I'm down now again. And then you read up the DeSclafani stats and what he's doing. And Farhan's talking about I mean, when he walks into a room, like John Lynch, he walks into the room, he can sell us anything.
There's credibility.
Because why?
Well, two things. A, he played, and I'm not sitting here saying that you have to play, but there is, when you hired John Lynch, there was a level of credibility sight unseen. Wouldn't you agree?
Yep.
Because of the stature of who he was. That doesn't mean he's going to be a good GM.
Hall of Fame player.
But then through what he's done with this team and building the roster, he's established and reestablished and continued to reinforce his credibility as a guy who makes moves. Bob Myers had credibility as an agent before he came in. Big question marks running the team. Through his actions, has reestablished and reconfirmed his credibility. The Farhan thing's still up in the air. Let me ask you this, B. What's the most bold thing? Because when I look at Bob and when I look at John Lynch,
they made bold moves.
Really bold moves. Bold. Lots. And we can go through a variety of them. Trading for Bogut, whatever.
Trading for D Ford.
Yeah.
CMC.
Not trading Klay Thompson for Kevin Love.
Exactly.
Telling David Lee to take a hike and putting Draymond in there.
You could have grown with Harrison Barnes, but just like, you know what? Kevin Durant's out there. Let's go try to get this guy.
Think about the bold acquisitions the Niners have made. What's the most bold thing the Giants have done under Farhan?
Trade for Chris Bryant.
A rental that they let walk?
Yeah,
and they didn't
for
even
2 months.
Sniff in?
For 2 months. And really, I feel like...
But that was pretty bold.
But you know what?
But you didn't give up anything.
You didn't give up nothing, and you let him walk.
I feel like they're very risk-averse, meaning they're afraid to make the big mistake. And that's the one thing, if you were to define the Sabian era, right? The Sabian era was many things. They won. He was bold.
But you know what, though?
He was willing to make a mistake.
He was Sabian, I agree with that. But Farhan has made moves.
What?
I think being bold, giving Jock Peterson $20 million this year.
But it's a one-year deal.
But it's still $20 million for Jock Peterson.
It's a one-year deal.
That's $20 million.
Well, I'll add into this. This isn't a move.
Henniger. Go ahead, let me get in.
Sorry, this is probably a move that will totally move the needle or whatnot. But the way they moved off of Mark Melancon in that first year, getting that whole contract off, it just. The Braves did not have to take on that whole contract and give a player back, and he pretty much stood there and said, "You guys, that's what you're going to do."
So the most bold thing he did.
No, like I said, is it going to move the needle?
Money.
No, but it's a move that I think you got to look at. It's like, all right, that's impressive. You're able to make a move like that, and you might even see Tristan Beck, the guy that got
back. Has been really good since he left the Giants too.
Guys, 1 second. As the Padres land star after star after star, and the Dodgers trade and acquire and allow stars to come and go left and right, the most bold thing the Giants have done was trade away a closer who never worked for them, only to see that guy reemerge later on and beat you down the line.
Soto just bought a mansion in San Diego, by the way.
Yeah, he's not going nowhere.
That's kind of, man.
He's not going nowhere.
That's kind of sad.
That is sad. Mark Melancon, think about that.
Is that it?
Think about that.
I'm asking, is that it?
That is it. That is it.
That kind of
the boldest move he made was hiring Gabe Kapler. That's a bold move. Because a lot of people are saying, well, Farhan,
that was a bold move.
It was a bold move, considering where Kapler was at, getting fired after 1 year as the manager of the Philadelphia Phillies.
Well, I can already start to see right now. I have some issues with the way the team is run, but Kapler, to me, is a conduit of how the front office wants them run, and I think unfairly he will be crushed all year. To me, he's executing the game plan of the
He's a scapegoat.
Yes,
we knew that as soon as he was hired. Farhan had his built-in scapegoat. This is sad. 510. Can we talk about the top 100 players on ESPN? Our first guy is Logan Webb at 71.
Oh, I know the
My
Athletic
San Francisco Giants.
Well, the Athletic did the top 100 starting pitchers, and he was in the 70s, Logan Webb.
Unbelievable.
And I thought that was low, but man, that's really sad. That's like really, really sad. I mean, B, you could have made an argument. You could, if this was 2013, 2012, you could have made the argument Matt Cain's on that list, Bumgarner's on that list, Posey's on that list, right?
I mean,
Brian Wilson.
I keep going back to Casey Schmidt, thinking, poor kid had a chance to start at Yankee Stadium. He's killing the ball in spring training. And even though spring training, I think stats could be inflated, that's sad.
Yeah, I'm with you.
That's very sad. Matt in San Jose, what's happening?
Hey, guys. How you guys doing?
Good.
I was better until we started talking Giants, Matt.
Yeah, it's just kind of the way it goes. And that, you know what, kind of segues me into what I was going to ask. First of all, to the question of what's the Giants' biggest, boldest moves in the Farhan era, damn near Mitch Haniger. But question, do you think that, like, with all the championships that the Giants have won, the Warriors have won, Niners been to the Super Bowl twice, a bunch of NFC championship games, even the Sharks went to a Stanley Cup, do you think we're a little spoiled? Like, we're talking about, the Giants should have squeezed more out of Buster Posey. Do you think we're maybe a little spoiled?
Well, no, I think
we did get spoiled. I do think we got spoiled, Matt. I'll say it. I'll admit that.
When you have one of the, like, the Giants have been an organization since the 1800s.
Right.
He's the greatest catcher they've ever had. Okay? And, like, we know how much of an influence he had on the pitching, and we know how much an influence he had on the entire lineup. And B, I think it's fair to simply say, like, they did a good job, and they did. But even Yankee fans are lamenting not winning more with Derek Jeter.
No doubt.
Even Laker fans are lamenting not winning more with Kobe Bryant. When you have those once-in-a-generation special players, I do understand the tug and pull of saying, well, you need to win even more, which is crazy.
Folks are still mad at Bob Myers for not making a deal at the deadline during the pandemic season, thinking that you're wasting Steph Curry's prime. So we do believe that.
I do not.
We're a little spoiled.
I do think that going back to the risk averse, they're so worried about looking bad and a guy struggling and this, that, and the other because they're so in the weeds. Would they have ever even have allowed Will Clark, the number 2 overall pick, to start? He got drafted at 85, started 86.
I don't know.
I don't think this regime would allow it.
Does Farhan Zaidi exude confidence from a leadership role into this fan base?
I think he's confident. I think he's confident in himself, but I don't think fans get confident based off him.
No, absolutely not. You hear him speak, and like he may be a great dude. I don't know Farhan. I would love to interview Farhan. I would love to get him on the morning roast to ask him what the philosophy is. How long should we be patient? Why should I pay to watch this product?
And how is your philosophy going to change, considering part of why I hired you was to usher in this new era of data, and you're going to shift more than any team, and you're going to pull the ball more than any team, and blah blah blah. Well, now that there's the shift on the ban shift, excuse me, how are your principles going to adjust? How are your philosophies going to adjust?
4 and 5 believes he isn't confident, but your boy, he's arrogant. I don't know, man.
You know what's crazy? I'm going to go out there for opening day, and I'm going to be really optimistic.
Oh, I know
because
you
that's
are.
how I am.
I know you are. I'll watch.
And you might call me a sucker.
No. I mean, I'm
like
not going to spend money.
Person, right?
Look, listen. I'll probably go to some Giants games this year. It's hard for me not to go. I love live baseball. I love going to live baseball games. I love being out the yard. But everything with the Giants, from the players on the field to the entertainment in the stadium, the in-game entertainment, we haven't just started. Go to a Niner game in between in between timeouts. Go to a Warriors game. DJ D Sharp and company, they always got something going on. Go to a Giants game. In the in-game entertainment. You want to talk about depressing? Oh, my Lord.